Now we're cooking. It's the coach. This is the two.
And we find ourselves at the stadium that played host to Super Bowl 52, the wondrous U.S. Bank Stadium in Minneapolis. Today, we've got a Week 6 matchup for you here between the Detroit Lions and the Minnesota Vikings. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The first carry now for Dalvin Cook. Oh, now he bowls him over. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. There are the numbers for Cook from a week ago. 18 carries, 75 yards, and a touchdown.
They look like a team that really emphasized the running game in the offseason. They were going to build around it. Didn't matter if they were going to run gap scheme, power scheme, whatever. They've got a runner who finds yardage if you give him just a little bit of space. And
this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down.
The best play callers in any league know how to break their tendencies. They study themselves, they self-scout, and they realize most of the time you don't call a draw play on 1st and 10. So every so often you insert that play just to make the defense think, even if it's not successful.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. A first down for Minnesota. Cousins finding Thielen. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is, because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down. Tough running there. That's a hard-earned 4 yards.
Yeah, those are the unsung kind of runs. They don't fill up the stat sheet, but they do set you up in good position on second down.
On second down, Cook. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 5 yards on the pickup, and that is going to set up a 3rd and 1. On the defensive side of the ball, here are the starters for Detroit. They've had their trouble stopping the run, Charles. Currently 29th in the NFL in that department.
For some defensive fronts, playing the run is not the priority. It's playing the pass, right? They get upfield, they rush the passer, and sometimes neglect stopping the run. That's something that they have to work on and reverse a little bit. Make sure you play the run on your way back to the quarterback.
A loss of a yard, and it brings up 4th.
A quick observation, Brandon, because early on in this game, I'm seeing linebackers playing with their noses close to the line of scrimmage.
And my guess is the wheels are turning on that other sideline. As a play caller, you're filing that away right now, aren't you?
Yeah, you're trying to find that opportunity later on when you can play action them or stick something to them between the 2nd and the 3rd level. Well, this winds up an empty possession. Everything looked okay. He just never got the ball on target. And knowing him, he'll be disappointed with that effort.
Well, now they'll start 3 yards shy of midfield after that long 57-yard miss. The first carry now. This is Johnson. The numbers for Johnson in last week's game. He hit pay dirt so many times we almost lost track. Every time we turned around, he was in the end zone.
And those weren't all just 1-yard plunges either, partner. I mean, he ripped off a few long jaunts as well.
Looking to throw on second down. Conley sliding out of the pocket. Wide open receiver complete. That one goes for 36 yards.
Looked like the defense put pretty good pressure on him, but he's able to flush out to his right to try and evade people. On the run, had to get on his horse. Still accurately throws a nice pass for a first down.
A first down carry here for Johnson. Trying to bounce it outside, but he's only able to get it back to the line of scrimmage. Jerry Hughes on the stop. And he got off the end there very quickly to make that play.
Yeah, it was almost like the bullet train, wasn't it? I mean, just zoom. Quick. And what a terrific play, holding them to no gain.
On second down, Johnson. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. It'll go as a loss of a yard, and it'll set up third down.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
Come on, let's go!
To throw on third down, Conley. And he'll be wrapped up around the waist and pushed down. Jerry Hughes in there to drop him for his 5th sack of the year.
Well, it's about how teams are so competitively matched, and you just want to make those plays that give you an advantage. How about right here? The difference between letting them score a touchdown versus holding them to a field goal, that's absolutely huge with the play he just made.
And you know he hated taking the loss there on third down. So a good kick there, and they put the bow tie on it with 3 points.
And let's face it, everybody wants a touchdown. We know that. But in the NFL, defenses are awfully good. You're not going to score each and every time. Be able to knock the ball through the post and take the throw.
By the way, I said bow tie. I meant just bow. Not the tie, but yeah.
Either way.
You got it.
I just went right past it.
And you see Dalvin Cook and the offense heading back out. And we checked the rushing numbers so far here into Week 6, and the returns have been really good. Now, you're starting to hit that stride middle of the season toward the end. They're certainly hoping they can keep up this production.
They are, because one of the adages in the NFL is that defense travels and defense endures even in bad weather, right? You know what else does? A good running game. And people want that, especially as you head down this.
Stephon Diggs! Touchdown, Vikings! Stephon Diggs, his first touchdown on the year. And the Vikings have taken a first-quarter lead. And on that one, able to catch it, also able to have the wherewithal to take it in for the score.
And how about the phases of a successful catch and a completion of a play? Look the ball in, secure the catch, and then, of course, the run after the catch that ends up in the end zone.
Out is the kickoff unit as they run up and send this one away. Fielded about a yard deep. And he'll be stopped just shy of the 25 with a penalty marker down. Here's the call.
Personal foul, face mask, defense.
Well, we looked at each other right away. We knew that flag was coming out.
And I always enjoy the conversation post, because officials always tell you, I don't want to throw the flag, but you caused the play. You did it. I had to.
So after the face mask, they get to start all the way up past the 35 now. Off the play fake. Conley. And this one is incomplete. He was trying to get it to T.J. Jones that time. And that'll bring up second down.
Well, I guess we just discovered that someone is certainly not going to sit back and just take it in this game, huh?
No, they were trying to get that touchdown back in one shot.
One shot, trying to help out his defense and let the other team know they were coming after him.
Caught on the right side by Jones. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. That one goes for 24 yards. They were in zone defensively, went with a crossing route. It's always interesting to watch that chess match.
Yeah, and I think safeties don't mind crossing routes against zone, because eventually you're going to run into their territory, and that's when they lick their chops in order to get the big hit or a play on the ball.
Offensively, nice execution to find a hole, make the catch. Chewing up big yardage, another nice gain there. This one goes for 20. Now a handoff, Johnson. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down. Another good run there for a guy who, remember, on Wednesday was named NFC Offensive Player of the Week for what he did a week ago.
Yeah, and you know it takes some solid runs and some extra special ones in order to win that type of an award.
And Johnson lost the football. It's loose, poked out. And this belongs to the Vikings. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to dive.
After review of the play, the ruling on the field is reversed.
So they've been in the red zone 3 times, and it's yielded just 3 points. Can they find the end zone here on 2nd and goal? They'll try and run. This is Johnson. And he goes backwards on this one, losing yardage to the 7. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
Now, that was a good job by the defense swarming to the football. And you know it's no cinch that you're going to be able to get the ball into the end zone against them. They're number 2 against the run. So what's an offensive coordinator to do? Check your playlist.
And he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. And they'll come up looking to keep this drive moving. They need to reverse the trend. The last 2 plays have gone backwards. Now it's 3rd and goal. Looking to throw. Conley underneath for Johnson. And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. They're able to hold him to 3 there, and that leads to a 4th and goal. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call? I
do. I think it's a high-percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the first down. In this case, it didn't happen.
The bottom line, tremendous starting field position, really squandered there as they wind up going backwards and then come up with just 3.
Well, getting the 3 turned out to be important. I can imagine the head coach when he ordered the field goal. Please salvage something out of this drive. That was not fun to watch.
And out now come the Vikings. And they will simply, Charles, be looking to duplicate what they did last drive when they were able to push it in for 6.
And they hope it'll be that easy, right? To be able to take exactly what happened before, replicate it. They may have to make a few additional changes along the way because I'm sure the defense will make some adjustments, but they've got to have great confidence having scored the last time out.
And it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up second down. So he can't hang on, and as I watch that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Well, you know a coach said that, right? Yeah. Not an actual player. Not a chance at all. Way easier said than done.
And he'll get this one up to the 26. Just a gain of a yard there, and now it'll be 3rd down.
Sometimes your philosophies get challenged at times you don't want them to. They did try to stick to the running game on the first 2 plays. Didn't amount to much.
And now facing a 3rd and long at the outset of this drive. Here's Cousins. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Fernandez. And they'll take him down at the 31-yard line. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down.
He wasn't the primary target, but I think it was almost like a check down situation, wasn't it?
Yeah, like hoping he can break some tackles, a big tight end, but he couldn't do it.
Yeah, get it to that big frame and hope he could scatter some bodies, unable to get it done.
A big boot that time, 57 yards the official distance. And the Lions are going to take over with a long field ahead and a 1st and 10. Back onto the field comes the offense. Let's take a closer look at Kerryon Johnson. They've given him some touches. They haven't had a lot of success on the ground. Do you maybe keep going to that well, or do you mix it up more?
I think you mix it up.
In trouble, and the ball's out. It's in the end. And it looks like the offense did get the football back, but it is clearly in that end zone, and it's going to be a safety. So troubles here offensively. I tell you, the noise in this dome, that has got to make it harder for these guys to hear.
Sometimes I find myself shouting up here. But you're right. If you can't communicate well or get off the snap count properly, it can cause big problems, and this qualifies as a big problem.
And you see Dalvin Cook and the offense heading back out. It's the 2nd quarter. His team has the lead, but I think he's hoping for a little bit more production out of himself.
And we often talk about preaching patience to a runner when things are a little bumpy in the early going. But we have to do the same thing with the offensive line. They can't wait to halftime to make the adjustments. They have to do it from series to series. So those surface tablets come into play. Check out what the defense is doing and see if they can find a better way to run it.
So they search for that patience here now. A give. This is Cook. And he'll go down right at the 30-yard line. And he's able to get more than half of what they needed. That brings up a 3rd and 5.
But you got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
To throw, Cousins.
And what did we talk with them about prior to the game? Their ability to move the chains, pick up first downs. So far, 0 for 3 on 3rd down. If that continues, they have little chance of winning this one.
And Detroit getting set to go now. And the last time they had the football, they surrendered 2 points on the safety. And they don't want to do that one again.
No, not at all. It's almost like a bases clearing double, isn't it? Give up a couple of runs.
Sure.
just messes things up for you offensively. But now they've got to go ahead, take it, set it aside, and move forward.
The tackle goes there to Linval Joseph.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks, allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. An excellent pickup of 34 yards. So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. On 1st down, Conley. He's going to launch this thing way downfield. And it drops down incomplete. Thought he might have had it. Instead, 2nd down.
Well, sometimes those cliches really come true, don't they, when they talk about it takes all 11 to play good defense. We've seen that in this ball game. I think the secondary has to be singled out, though. They are in the presence of every receiver whenever the ball's thrown, and this one, they help force another incompletion.
12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another 1st down.
A lot of tight ends just use their size and their strength, try to occupy some space and kind of body people away and catch the football. But not this guy. He's a refined route runner. Makes me wonder if he took some dance classes in his background with his footwork.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
That would have been a great catch, but it's real difficult to hold on to it because it was contested all the way. Would have been a great play if he'd been able to haul that one in.
Throwing again. Conley. Wide open receiver, complete. And taking it to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. His first catch, good for 16 and a first.
I know many people like to throw to the tight end, maybe in a little flexed out position because he creates mismatches with his size. But slot receivers do the same thing with their quickness, their speed, and their route running savvy.
They'll hand it off now. Johnson. And effective running here. He'll take it down inside the 10. A solid run on 1st down. Gain of 7 leaves him with a 2nd and 3.
Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they bottled him up throughout the game because that was his longest run of this contest.
And there just continues to be nowhere to run. He's bottled up again at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a 3rd and about 3 to go. A reminder, once we hit halftime, as we do all season, we'll send it down to Jonathan Coachman in Orlando. He'll have all the stats and scores from games in progress around the NFL.
The best multitasker in the business, the coach.
Back to throw. Conley. This will be caught at about the 5. And they got 3 yards. That's enough. A conversion, and now it's 1st and goal.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
They'll try and run for it on 1st and goal. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield.
Well, it's been the air game that's taken them down on this drive before they finally turned around and handed it off on the last play.
And now they're looking for the big boys to get him in the end zone. Couldn't do it there.
It'll be interesting to see. Offensive lines had to pass block a lot on this drive. Will they be able to revert and fire out and create some space in the run game?
And a little bit of space there takes it inside the 5 to the 3. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that 2nd...
He's got his man. It's caught for a Lion touchdown. Bucky Hodges, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Lions are in for 6. Now Matt Prater for the point after. Extra point good by Prater. And the decision to just kick the extra point winds up successful. Here's Prater now set to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the Vikings offense works their way back onto the field. And what do you think goes on here in this situation? If you got the football, you're trailing, you're back in your own territory with just a little time. Do you try something?
You're thinking about jump-starting your team, right? You just mentioned it. They're down. They're trying to get back into the game. But you got to figure, if something goes wrong, you may have put yourself in a spot where you may not be able to come back in the second half. Managing risk, this is a big decision here. Well, it's time for them to be good teammates right here, and what I mean by that is possess the ball for a little while. Get at least 2 first downs. Give their defense a chance to set.
And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes.
You've called plenty of games in your career. Do you believe in momentum, my man?
I do, and I think we're seeing it right here.
Oh, there's no doubt about it. The run that he's been on. How about that? 3 sacks in a game a week ago, and another one right here. Oh, he's feeling it in a big way.
And he's going to lose yardage here. Back to his own 18. And they're going to take a timeout defensively. So with 4th down coming up, they go ahead and burn it and say we'll see what happens. Here now, Johnny Townsend as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. That's taken on the 25. So we have reached halftime with a visiting. We now proceed to the start of the second half. The Lions in the lead, and they're going to get the football first as well as the second half is underway. That's fielded in the end zone. And he will be brought down here at about the 17-yard line. The Lions offense now with a football first here to begin quarter number 3. They have the lead now. They'll be looking for some separation here as we begin the third quarter.
I like the way you term that because now I think they go a little bit deeper into their playbook. They like what they did in the first half. That worked okay. But in order to get the separation that you just talked about, change things up a little bit. Change your tendencies. Try and hit them a little bit more with some things they didn't see in the first half.
We'll see if they do just that. They go to Johnson again. 2 yards on the carry there, and it's going to lead them to 3rd down. In the first half, he was held in check on the ground, but despite that lack of production, they still have the lead.
Yeah, and they've got to feel fortunate about that. If they could actually get production from their lead horse, that would help open up this offense and widen this margin, too.
They'll try and run for it. Here's Johnson. 3 yards there, good enough to keep the drive moving.
I haven't met a football team yet that runs the ball successfully that doesn't talk about having an attitude to be a running football team, right? You got to be able to put your nose in there, smell where the first down sticks are, and get there.
Here's Johnson. He's been busy this afternoon. And he's going to be met at the line of scrimmage and taken down. The tackle made there by Linval Joseph.
Doubling this guy has to be a priority before moving up to the next level because the big fella, he just ate that one alive, just stuffed it. In fact, before the game, he was talking to us, and he's like, hey, these pants make me look fat. And we said, nah, man, you're just a whole lot of guy.
He is at well over 300 pounds. He's a big man. Give him 30 yards there.
Of course, the catch was nice, but how about what happened after? Able to stay on his feet and gain all that additional yardage. So many of these slot guys, I think, have running back in their background.
On 1st and 10, Conley. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. Trey Waynes, the Michigan State man, right there in coverage. They don't get the hook up there, but you really have to marvel at how precise he's been throwing the football these last couple weeks.
Oh, that's the perfect word for it, precise, because if you're at 70% or better 2 weeks in a row, you have a job as long as you want one in this league, won't you? I mean, let's face it, it's not just West Coast offense either. He's putting the ball downfield as well.
He got 29 yards that time. This quarterback now 11 of 15 through the air. Here's 1st and 10. Looking to throw. Conley. The Vikings after him, and they get there for the sack. Ben Gideon in there to bring him down for a loss of 7. And it's never good to take a sack. You really don't want to take one down here in this part of the field, down near the red zone.
Not at all, because you're already pretty much assured of a field goal. If you take a big sack, it could push you out of range, and that's why defenses get a little more aggressive in this situation. They're almost...
And he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. T.J. Jones, his first touchdown on the year. And the Lions are able to grow their lead. A good, sustained drive there in this third quarter, capping it off with a touchdown to give them a nice 2-score advantage.
It was actually a fun one to watch, wasn't it? I mean, for me, seeing the mix of what they did, how they moved the ball downfield, very sharp, too. Each and every play seemed to be executed with great dispatch.
Here's Prater now set to kick it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. It's the Vikings' turn on offense. We get ready for their first possession of the second half. And right now, these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
Throwing to start the drive, but that one incomplete. We have not seen a whole lot of wide-open receivers. Everything seemingly has been contested.
And that's another nice job there to force an incompletion. They've been very cohesive.
And the pressure too much that time as Cousins goes down. Alex Okafor in there to drop him, and it'll be a loss of about 8.
So one quick, easy analysis about why they've struggled so far. They keep putting themselves in third and long situations. They just took another sack right there.
And the offensive field. And he's going to go down again. Devon Kennard in there to drop him. And back-to-back sacks now bring up 4th and long.
We've watched this a long time, and I still don't believe we get it. 3rd and long. Why are you calling play action?
Yeah, because they're not going to bite defensively, right?
No, not at all. I did have a coach explain to me years ago that for some teams, that's how they have to deal with pass protection and their line blocking. But to me, it seems silly.
Yeah, well, they're silly, and that leads to a play-action sack. So out now come the Lions. They had to go a long way on their last drive to score the touchdown. This time, they get at least a little bit more of a cushion with field position. I
have to think that with this field position, after what they did on the last drive, they might want to take a shot right now and try and cut down the length of the drive.
The 4th down run successful. Now they look to pay it off on 1st down.
Let's go! Try 38!
They go play action here on 1st down. Rolling to his left. Oh, he got position on him, and he pulls it in. And he'll be out just a yard or 2 shy of the 30. A very solid gain of 27. And the young buck showing that ability, that agility to dance outside of the pocket, complete the deep ball.
And don't think for a second that the coaching staff didn't have their heart rate accelerate a little bit there, right? Anytime you have those young quarterbacks and they get outside of the pocket, you're just hoping that they make good decisions, because so many things can happen that can go wrong when you throw it downfield like that. He got away with it there and in a big way.
He goes for 18 there as the drive will continue.
And after that completion, you can understand why so many teams in the league are emphasizing speed on defense at every position. The tight ends have created so many tough matchups now. If you can't run with a tight end as a linebacker, this is going to be the result every time.
Here's Johnson. Oh, good footwork on the spin. And he's going to get it inside the 10 to the 7-yard line. It's a 7-yard carry to set them up with a 2nd and 3.
Hadn't had a ton of success here so far, but you get the feeling that he might be on the verge of popping one.
Yeah, even on that one, there was a little bit of a hole, but it closed there quickly at the end. Again, it's Johnson. And he'll be brought down right on the edge of the goal line at about the 1-yard line. The 6 yards on the pickup, and it leaves him with a 1st and goal.
Third quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out. but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
They'll run it with Johnson. And he'll actually lose a little bit of yardage here. Back to the 2. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
Anthony Barr got a real education at UCLA in playing not just his normal position of stand-up outside linebacker, but down defensive end. So he had to incorporate a variety of moves, take on bigger people. So he learned great leverage while he was there. That really helped.
And he is into the end zone. Touchdown, Detroit. Kerryon Johnson with a lucky number 13 touchdowns now on the year. And the Lions add on to their lead.
That drive that really increased their cushion felt very military to me. Very precise, methodical. That's one of the words you've taught me. And they just got it done.
And slowly but surely now starting to pull away a little bit. Things looking good for them here in the third quarter.
Not only pulling away, you mentioned that slowly but surely. You also drain clock, too, with a drive like that. So you really give yourself an advantage.
And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And now out comes Minnesota. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
They go play action. Cousins. He finds an opening past the 40 and all the way up to the 45-yard line. An ideal beginning of the drive there as they'll get 20 and a first down. The big play to start him out has him at the 45 already. First down, here's the run with Cook. Pushing forward for 3 up to the 48.
Well, they certainly have been able to get him going and establish the run, so I think it's time to abandon that plan and start chucking it all over the park. And you know who's excited about that? The defensive front. They got a chance to pin their ears back and get after him now.
It's the Vikings in possession of the football, but they need some points. They're trailing here to start the fourth. Second down, Cousins. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And a nice gain at 21 yards. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, Cousins. And he's going to go down. They get to him back at the 40. Denzel Perryman coming on the blitz. He gets him for a loss of 7.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Now Cousins over the middle, complete. It's Fernandez. And here he'll be brought down a little shy of the 35 at the 36. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down. You got the big lead defensively. Willing to give him that underneath stuff, right?
And this is why you work on your tackling. Tackle him after the catch, inbounds, keep the clock running. Just go ahead and bleed the game out that way.
And this is going to be incomplete. Another wayward pass. You know, things started out poorly in this game, and to be frank, they just really haven't gotten much better.
And all that does is embolden a secondary. They feel good about what's going on, and they just play better and better.
A critical one here if they're going to have any shot at this thing. So they'll go for it on 4th down. As expected, they're going for it to keep the drive alive. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back.
Partner, we always talk about possessions being at a premium in these games. And now in this situation, throwing an interception here when you have to claw your way back in, that one's going to hurt, and in a big way.
Throwing on 1st down, Conley. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
The good signal callers would never go back in the huddle and play the blame game because they need those guys to protect him. But on that last one, his offensive line, they lost their leverage very quickly, and that's why they were able to get to him and hit him as he tried to throw the football and force an incompletion.
Back to throw. Conley. On the crossing route, complete. It's Arnold. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. A very solid gain of 27. On first down, Conley. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. But I believe the Lion was there to recover it. Yes, they will indeed keep possession. I'll call it luck or skill, whatever the case is. They're feeling good about just keeping the football there.
Yeah, the biggest thing that they're calling it now, our ball. I mean, they don't care if it was luck or skill. Boy, the panic that jumps up in your chest when that ball's on the ground, whether you get it or your teammate gets it, just as long as you maintain possession, that's all you're looking for.
Ebron caught left side. That one good for 17 as they're set up better now for third down. Still throwing the football here, even with the big lead.
Yeah, I know you and I came up in a different era and we think about sportsmanship and all that. Other people think about fantasy points and getting their numbers. That's all they care about right now.
Here we go!
On third down, Conley. And he can't quite pick it. No interception so far. That probably should have been their first, but at least it's fourth down. They got the win last week despite not having any interceptions. Tried to come up with one there, could not. But there's a stat category called PBU, pass breakup. That's important too, and they got one.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it because at least you're there, knocking the ball away. Offense isn't possessing it, making plays downfield. And you just continue to harass the receivers, harass the quarterback, and maybe the big play does occur down the road.
Fourth down, no problem. 19 yards that time, but now it's 1st and 10. They have the nice cushion. They just want to pour it on right now, still throwing the football.
And I know my background says, why do you need to do this? Just go ahead and run out the clock and get a win. But as many people have pointed out to me, it's a video game, man.
A fight for the football, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the former first-rounder Trey Waynes. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Their passing game has been spectacular this afternoon. Finally, a win for the defense.
You think maybe there was an adjustment there. Finally gained a measure of, I don't even know if you call it revenge, but got a play done against him, and that's been difficult for them all game long.
And able to get this one out just shy of the 25 at the 24. Give them 13 yards on the opening play of the drive and also give them a first down. Decent start to the drive, but let's face it, they need a lot of things to go right in a short amount of time, down 3 scores.
Yeah, they're going to run their 2-minute offense here in this game, but this is for future games. Can they get better and be ready for the next time, hopefully with a chance to win?
Now Cousins, and it pops free. The collision there jarred the ball loose and brings up 2nd down.
It's a lot of contact going on there, and in the end, unable to keep 2 hands on the football and bring it into his body.
Everything looked pretty good until the finish. A 2nd down throw for Cousins. And under the Lions' pressure, he's brought down.
I remember throughout my career here in defensive coaches always say, guys, you've got to earn the right to rush the passer. Well, they put themselves in a great spot with this big lead, and they know they've got to throw the ball.
These pass rushers have to be salivating. It is pin your ears back time indeed. And Fowler's got it. A big 3rd down conversion with a gain of 28.
You know I'm going to lean towards the defender, right? You know I'm going to do that.
I know.
That's a tough situation for him as I see it. But the truth of the matter is, that ball was not streaking towards him. Had a little arc on it. He's got to find a way to get his head around to make the play on the football.
And he'll find Thielen on the right side. 11 more on that one and another first down. A couple of first downs on the drive already as they'll go from the 47 now on first down. Time for a break. We're back to finish this one off after this. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. A first down throw for Cousins. Under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 46. Now you've got to hustle your guys to the line and get them set. Cousins now on second down. And he's got the hook up here. It's Kyle Rudolph. And the stop here will come at the 38-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 15 as that'll lead to third down. On 3rd and 1, here's Cousins. And that is incomplete.
Okay, I'm not quite sure how to judge that one. Maybe he didn't have enough legs underneath him. Mechanics might have been off. Maybe some fatigue. That one came up short.
Yeah, fourth quarter. Maybe you do start to watch. Is the arm there, the leg's still there? This has been a tough game. All right, they're going to try and keep hope alive here on 4th down. They're going for it. Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And he's got Kyle Rudolph. And he's able to get it to the 31, and that's enough for the first. No reason not to try it there, and they do indeed convert on 4th. Cousins now to throw on 1st down. And his throw is incomplete.
I hope I don't sound too rah-rah on that one, but that's the exact right throw. Either your receiver gets it or no one gets it. Give him a lot of credit for being really precise with it.
Got rid of it. No one got it. Throwing again, Cousins on 2nd and 10. It's a short one here, complete to his tight end. And he'll be brought down at the 27-yard line. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's 3rd down. On 3rd down, Cousins. The left side caught by Diggs. Just a 5-yard pickup, and it leads to 4th down.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job there of limiting that and keeping him from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. They'll run for it. Cook. And he's not even going to come close to picking up the first. They stop him right at the line of scrimmage. Denzel Perryman there to bring him down. Here's the Detroit offense now as they head back out onto the field. So they tried to go for it for pride, but it really wouldn't have mattered. This one, it was already determined.
No doubt about it. This one was over a while ago.
Here we go!
Now it looks like he'll throw here. Throw left side taken in by Galladay. And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. That goes for a gain of 31.
And they just had another big completion there. And I think in days gone by in the NFL, you might have asked, is this a little bit of overkill? Is this rubbing it in? I don't think people feel the same way nowadays.
It's the age-old argument. And you could say, nowhere to go here. He lost the football. But I believe the Lion was there to recover it. Yes, they will indeed keep possession. And before this second down play, we'll get a whistle, a signal, and a timeout. It's just their first. They've got 2 more to use here in the final stages. The first down play, to be frank, nothing short of awful, and now they have to deal with second and very long. He'll rifle this one deep right side. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up 3rd down.
Well, the obvious goal is to try and score a touchdown, but at the least, adding to a pretty big yardage total for his intended receiver there, huh?
Yeah, well, when you got a guy over 150 yards, keep chucking it deep to him, I guess.
Yeah, no doubt about it. You can get it to him short and he can make plays that way, but I like what you just said. Throw it to him deep and get it in a big chunk.
But incomplete on that try. So now with 6 seconds remaining, we get a timeout on the field. And with things looking pretty good on the scoreboard, they're going to keep the offense out there and go for it here on 4th.
Here we go!
Again, he'll drop to throw. Throwing deep for Galladay. And this will be incomplete. 1 second left to go. The Lions turned away on 4th down. And the Vikings defense is going to get the football back. Good starting field position for the Vikings as they have it 1st and 10. One last shot now for Cousins. Now a desperation throw deep downfield. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect. Well, Charles, it's great to win at home in the NFL. When you win on the road, it's a little extra special, isn't it?
It is, because, let's face it, in most cases, you're not expected to go on the road and win in the National Football League. It just doesn't usually compute. So to get out there, get that done, and then head back to your city with one in the victory column, oh, that's a fantastic feeling.
So for